Everybody needs an Indy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a shirt made that says "Everybody needs an Indy." I think this bolt right here will work.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this one's any good or not.
Threads boogered up on
It doesn't look like there's any threads on it, like it's all stripped.
All right, seatbelt on. Very important, guys. Don't ever forget your seatbelt when getting on the road. Flashers on. Road mode. Let's get on the road. We made very quick work of that 105 acres. We had to do a little bit of waiting on Andy, but I tell you what, and realistically, with what he was yielding, we didn't have to do much wait at all. I mean, he was putting the pedal to the metal. And about a day and a half, plus counting the plots, you know, we did 18,000 bushels. He was flat keeping it hauled away as quick as he possibly could. That farm, it wound up averaging 175 bushels overall. Man, I'm plumb tickled with that. Now, the back two fields, you know, they brought the average down some, which was expected, but overall, I'm plumb tickled with that yield. You strap that header down, Andy.
Do you want me to go in front of you at all, or do you think you got it?
Yeah, when we get to this road, I'll let you get in front of me where you can warn traffic. So that last load off that field should just about finish up our first grain bin. And shut up. And then considering our next bin is empty, we got another 112 day variety we could get started on, but I don't want to put dry grain beneath what wet grain will be, so we're actually going to get started in the bottom where we got a decalb 119 day. I believe it's 69.99. It's going to be higher moisture. We're going to go ahead and get started on that where we can put that wet grain in the bottom of the bin, and then we'll finish out with a 112 day dry grain that'll be on the very top. So it's a whole lot easier to dry out grain on the bottom than it is the top, because it doesn't dry it evenly throughout the bin. It's kind of like a cold front going through the bin from the bottom to the top as far as it drying out. So if you put dry grain on the bottom and wet grain on top, you're liable to really over dry the grain on the bottom, which we don't want to do. All right, let Andy get by me here. And it looks like Carter's coming by too. I think he's helping us move. Oh man, it is nice to be back into some green corn again. And man, it sounds like I am running boulders through my combine here. Decalb 69.99, got some of the biggest ears I've ever seen. And it's nice to have to go at a crawl again. Better widen that concave up a little bit. Ain't yielding too shabby either. And dry corn might be easier to shell and everything. It flows through the combine better because it's slicker and everything. But you got a lot more dust, you know, leaves and stuff just flying everywhere. And green corn, it picks quite a bit cleaner. It's a little bit wetter than what I was thinking. You know, it's showing, you know, 20 to 22%. I was really kind of expecting to be like maybe around that 18-19%, but that's one reason why we're going ahead and picking it. You know, with a hurricane coming in, it's not going to do much more drying out at all, at least not until sometime after the hurricane. All we got left is maybe 65, 70 acres of corn that's right there around 15%. So I didn't want to get it, put it on the bottom of the bin and then have this like almost 100 acres of wet corn going on top of the dry corn. It just wouldn't have worked out too well. And then not only that, being down here in the bottom, we get 4 inches of rain down here. It's sure enough going to be wet and muddy. So I just soon go ahead and get it completely knocked out. Man, I already filled up. Now we still got a long ways to go to get to the end on this first pass. That's what I like saying, nice big mound. We were empty when we started down there. Nice big juicy kernels. That's what we should see in a normal year. And then down here in this bottom, you know, it never ran out of moisture. It just kept on going. I tell you what, Crockett County sure disappointed us as far as yield, but Madison County, I believe, is going to more than make up the difference for it. Looking around out here, there's one kernel there. I believe we might starve the dove out here too. Now while we're waiting, I'm just getting out, checking my corn head over, making sure I haven't had a gathering chain jump off or anything. Everything's like it's supposed to be. There comes Kelly. So her and Andy Carter got all the equipment moved. Well, I really wish I had a chance to run that new Case IH AFF 11 with a 567 bushel grain tank. I stand a chance I might actually make it to the end before I get filled up. As it is, my 300 bushel grain tank only goes so far. I think about the most corn I've ever fit in my grain tank has been right around 315 bushels before, but I had a little bit of cab corn on that episode. You know, it is just absolutely amazing me what this corn in this bottom is doing. You know, looking back to, you know, the last 3 weeks of May when we had saturated soils, you can imagine in this bottom, that's a wet natured bottom to begin with. I mean, this corn just looked ugly. I mean, it was fired almost all the way up, yellow, just, you know, it couldn't get any oxygen to the roots. And, you know, just like we saw on the rest of our corn, you know, I know I lost 2 rows around on every ear. So for that corn to recover from that to make what it's yielded now there's some there's the really wet areas, you know, the yield's definitely dropping off to, you know, 170, 180. But you know, the more well-drained spots on this field, I mean, are just doing phenomenal for the year that we've had. I didn't think that it was out here. I'm shocked. I mean, it's pulling my combine down at 3.5 miles an hour. Of course, a lot of that because it's still pretty green. It's tough to get those stalks through the head. 250. If it weren't for that little bit of sprayer blight right there, it might be 260, 270. So well, we're already full. I mean, I'm getting 600 bushels on every pass down through here. Now don't get me wrong, this ain't the best corn I've ever made, not by a long shot. But considering everything the corn went through this year, it might be the best I've ever had corn perform. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. We're gonna call it quits here pretty soon. As soon as I fill the combine up, we'll have another load, and Andy's got like 8 miles to make a round trip, so it'll be plumb dark by the time he gets back. And as green as this corn is, we had a little Jew to the equation, and I'm gonna start running it all out the back. Besides, I want to get back on that ripper, get a few more acres ripped tonight while the soil's really good and dry before the hurricane comes up here and drops 2 to 4 inches. So we'll see what the weather looks like tomorrow. Maybe we can get a full day in tomorrow.
Not a cloud in the sky today. It is supposed to be 94. And then tomorrow everything is gonna go to crap. We're gonna get the remnants of Hurricane Francine. So we are trying to get all these bottoms out as fast as we can because it's high moisture, and well, we come back in here with 4 to 6 inches of rain, we're gonna get stuck. You can see there's still a lot of green on the plant. It's running about 19 to 21 moisture, but putting it in a separate bin.
All right, we got another beautiful day out here today. Probably gonna be the last beautiful day for a while. Hurricane Francine is official. Going to make landfall today, and then we'll be making a beeline straight towards Arkansas, West Tennessee, and Western Kentucky. I know we're gonna get today in. As far as tomorrow, I don't know. Noah's saying probably around noon or so should start expecting rain, but that's provided that an early rain band don't come up this way. So I don't know. I do know we got some really good corn for this year, and I want to get as much of it in the bin as possible before Francine makes her presence known. However, today I'm having to bring a few extra tools with me. You got a 22 millimeter funnel, and then a container of hydraulic oil over there. Yesterday morning when I was servicing the combine, I noticed a pretty big wet spot up underneath the gearbox right there, that's up under the cab that drives my feeder chain and the rock feeder. I had that gearbox replaced, I think, in the winter of 2017 to 2018, and I don't know if a seal's gone out in it, a bearing's going out in it, all the above. I know it's a pretty problematic gearbox there because from the factory there's kind of some defects. You actually have to have that gearbox laser aligned, otherwise it wears the shaft out on it real bad, strips the splines out on it. Hopefully it's just a seal, but I called H&R. I've got them getting all the parts together that we're going to need to rebuild it. Hopefully we'll be able to rebuild it. Don't want to have to replace the gearbox. And I've never been in that gearbox. I think it's a pretty complex gearbox, and I really don't feel comfortable trying to do it myself. So I got on the books for getting a service call on getting this thing done. Hopefully we can make it through corn harvest without it just cramping out on us, and then we can get it fixed, in between corn and beans. So I think we're going to have a little bit of a break there. I know yesterday morning I put about a half a gallon of oil in it, not really knowing how fast it leaked out. Well, this morning I put about another half a gallon of oil in there, so it's not just a slow leak that I didn't catch. It happened all of a sudden, and it's a fast leak. So considering how much I put in there this morning, I thought it wise to bring some oil with me. And about midday we'll check it and top it off, just to try and make sure it can make it through the end of corn harvest.
And everyone's favorite crop, the cotton, is starting to pop in our earlier fields, but wanted to show you kind of what's going on when you don't have any rain in August, when these are, putting on the bolls. We do have some that are very healthy. See that right there? These are healthy. The holes are very strong, so it's going to hold that cotton in there. It's really strong, but we have a bunch that are like this, and these are very weak, as you can see. So what happens is when we get this hurricane with this pounding rain and this wind, these guys aren't going to survive, and they're going to fall off, or they're going to put the cotton on the ground. So it just goes to show you that, Mother Nature controls everything. This one is a little bit stronger, but there are a lot of these that, I walked by the plant and they were just falling off. So these are good. These guys not so much. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens after this storm comes through.
Well, we got about 10 more acres left on this farm, and then we'll be moving down the road across that tree line.
So I pulled up to unload, and I heard a bad metal rattling sound coming out the back of the combine. Told Matt stop. He opened the door and listened. We got back there, and now we have a knife that's gone down. So go figure that she's been running great for the last couple of days, and right before we have to get all these bottoms out, before this remnants of a hurricane or depression, whatever it's gonna be when it's gonna be here. I don't know why she got attitude today, but she does.
All right, we shelled one bin. We're back at the service truck. That can't be a good thing. I think it's pretty minor, but still. Got my bin full, and Kelly came up behind me to unload, and she heard a racket that I wasn't hearing here on the back end. And anyway, got to looking, finally found it. This chopper blade right here was flinging around. It's got one bolt that's missing on it, and the other one's loose, just allowing it to sling around and hit the metal. So hopefully I've got a right size bolt in the service truck, but I don't know how I'm gonna get it in because we got our sieves right here, and I can't just like sit on them or lay on them to put the bolt in without crushing our brand new sieves. Usually I put like a piece of plywood up in there, but I don't have one with me, so I'm gonna try closing them all the way down. Well, can't do that with the key off. Can you go turn the key on, please?
Sure, that's fine. Why don't you have Andy bring some plywood?
Because hopefully he's already left. All right, luckily we got our nice little control right here. Alright, now that they're flat, I'm less likely to bend them. You know, I looked over that new AF11 at the Farm Progress show. That was one benefit of it. They don't have the chopper way back up in there. It's back here on the back end, so if you have knife problems, a lot easier to access. That's one of the improvements to it. Alright, after scrounging through my bolt bin here, yeah, I need to replenish with some good bolts, not rusty ones. Found one that might work. It's a square head. I mean, it's going to be a grade 2, but it's the correct length, and I don't have a grade 5 or grade 8 in here that's correct length, so hopefully it'll get us by. If it don't, worst it'll do, just break off. All right, luckily Andy just showed up with a truck, and he can get up there a little bit better than I can, so let me go recruit him. All right, Andy, you think you can try and crawl up in there and stand here on the back while leaning forward and put a bolt in the chopper blade there?
Yeah, just, I'll see it right there.
Everybody needs an Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a shirt made that says, everybody needs an Andy. Please don't crush those fins.
I'm gonna try, but I mean, guarantees.
I think this bolt right here will work.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this one's any good or not.
Threads boogered up on
It doesn't look like there's any threads on it, like it's all stripped.
it. All right, these are metric bolts like I figured, and 1/2-inch bolts just a shade too large. And I certainly can't reuse this one, so I know I got the correct ones back at the shop. So be back in a minute. Just get comfortable and chill out up there.
It's nice and shady in here.
I know, right?
All right, you get a nice nap.
Oh, yeah.
No, we were sitting here
Nice.
watching TikToks and Instagrams.
Rotting your brain away.
No, and your phone's ringing.
Man, you ought to be a gymnast balanced on that balance beam like that.
I know.
2028 Olympics. See me there.
Not only does he work on a farm.
All right, tighten them just to the point of twisting them off. I don't want to come loose again. Either now or when you got to replace them in a year or two.
Or do you want to put any Loctite on them?
No, I'll shy away from the Loctite. You see those muscles?
She's hot.
Ladies, he is available.
You have to move here, though.
Be sure to call 555.
Andy's number will be posted at the bottom of this video.
Hold on now. All right.
For a good time, call Andy.
No. What are you trying to pimp him out? No.
For a great time.
For a great time.
All right. Maybe those huge cobs won't break any more of them loose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, we are up to 10% viewership is now ladies, so there is a chance.
There is a chance. A 10%
Possibility.
Yeah, we went from like 93% male viewership to around 90% male viewership.
You're welcome for the ladies, because they're pretty much all my friends.
Also, it's old women that watch. Well, Andy, you might not be in.
No, I have friends that are his age.
All right, let's get back to work.
You know, there's more to driving a grain cart than people believe. You are a hell catcher. You catch a lot of hell from the combine driver and your truck driver, although Andy never gives me hell, so that's good. But you also have to really listen to the combine, because you can't hear a lot in that combine. And you know, Matt's hearing over the years has gotten a little worse. I have always had really sensitive hearing. I could hear a bird fart in the middle of the night. It's just that mom training. When you're a mom, you have to listen for your kids. You got to be able to listen to see when the combine really isn't running right. It can save a lot of troubles if you pull up and you know that, hey, that sounds like a bearing's going out, or there's metal rattling, because he can't hear that. So there's a lot more to driving this than just sitting here and holding a steering wheel. You've got to be observant. You've got to watch the combine, you know, for fires. You have to listen for anything that's going wrong. And that's what I try and do. Some other people who drive grain carts may not have that ability. The other important thing is that combine driver right there is my husband, my partner, and the father of my children. So I'm going to watch that combine like a hawk to make sure that, one, he is safe, and two, if there is a problem, we can catch it before it becomes a major problem. Basically, it comes down to, this is equipment. You can replace this equipment. You can't replace the people who are in the equipment. So always be observant, always pay attention, and watch out for your people, because they're very important, even if you want to wring their neck at the end of the day. So we get the combine rolling, and now
Check the switch on the right rear corner post and make sure it has been turned off.
yeah, nothing is turned off. Nothing's working. It's supposed to raise my auger. Nothing is working. Okay, well, I'm on my 4th reboot. Let's see what happens. That is on. Everything is how it should be. So we'll see if Laverne wants to act properly on a 4th reboot, and see if my remote valves work. Well, guess what? After rebooting it 4 times, it's now working.
Alright, looks like our problems have returned in full force. We just got through this farm. I go and take the header off. Went to look. And we got hydraulic oil pouring out up there. Good grief, it's all over my belts. And there's so many hydraulic lines and fittings up there. I got a good idea of the general area, but I don't have a clue exactly where it's coming from. And it's way up there too. All right, from down on the ground, I saw spray coming from this general area right here, and look on the bottom, there's a plug. Maybe we just might get lucky and it just might be a busted O-ring on that plug. Call Andy, tell him just to hold up at the shop and then get up here in the combine and start up. We got a bad major hydraulic leak here. Start the combine up and be ready to cut it right back off. Alright, it's not coming from that plug. It is coming from the back side. So I'm thinking either a cracked housing or maybe a busted gasket. Alright, after blowing off all the dust and everything, there's another little plug right there. Maybe it's coming from that. Alright, start it up again. Alright, yeah, it's coming from, I'm guessing that's a plug. I don't know, it's spraying out through the middle of it. Give me Allen wrenches, please. I don't know what that is. it doesn't. No Allen wrenches will fit it. It looks like I can kind of see threads. I don't know if a bolt or a plug missing. I have no idea.